One cold winter's night, as Dad was sitting reading the paper on his break at work, he saw an advert for £10 tickets. Come to sunny South Australia. Mary trusted Jim's instincts, and together they decided to pull up stumps and head to Australia for better opportunities. She knew it was the right decision for her children, despite knowing they were leaving their family and friends behind. Mum would often share with us the heartache of knowing that she would never see her mum or dad again. This demonstrated not only Mary's strength of character, but Mary and Jim's commitment to their faith and her faith in Jim. They were a great team. Mary was brave and optimistic, supportive and understanding, patient and harnessed a strong faith. It is these qualities that no doubt provided her with the inner strength to carve out a life in a new country, with no initial support system in place. However, before too long, Mary's positive, outgoing and sociable nature nurtured a life filled with friendships and adventure, with the safe harbour of securing love in their home in Adelaide. And 4 years later, Fiona was born. By this time, Owen, are you Owen? By this time, Owen, Mary's younger brother, and his family had immigrated to Perth and beckoned Jim and Mary to cross the Nullarbor, and so they did. Having established her roots firmly in Perth, life was idyllic in the suburbs. Mary continued to play an instrumental part of providing the foundation of keeping her dream alive, that her family could achieve anything through faith. Mum provided a home that was run on her firm belief in keeping things practical and within budget. She could feed an army on $10. We all reminisced about her traditional Irish cooking, apple pie, casseroles with dumpling and butter. Her traditional, her pizzas, that was just to name a few. Mum's Christmas cakes were a big hit. The fruit was soaked in either port or whiskey and allowed to mature for at least 3 to 6 months. We all used to fight over who would lick the wooden spoon after she had stirred it. And Jerry remembers getting drunk on her Christmas cake when he was a young child. There was certainly one thing you could count on: you never went hungry. We loved coming home from school knowing that there would be some tasty homemade treat waiting on the bench, and should be eager to listen to all of our stories of the day's events. Mum never once complained about taking us to all our sporting events or training. She never missed a school event, and Fiona said she was 18 years of age the first time she came home to find Mum not waiting at the door ready to ask, "How was your day?" As lovely as Mary was, there were a few things that made us kids cringe. Really didn't like it when Mum would spit into a hanky and wipe her face. Or the home-knitted itchy jumpers she made for us. Even better was a trip to Good Sammy's to purchase the season's footy boots. Home haircuts made for very interesting school photos, and jeans always had to be a size larger, hey Jerry, so they would last longer. Mary's love of denim jeans totally contradicted her thoughts on life. Necessities. At last count, she had 17 pairs of jeans in a variety of colours. She'll be remembered for being the clasher of fashion. Her vibrant, bold, ABC test pattern dress sense made her personal style eclectic, eccentric. There's Mum right there. Mary wasn't a very fiery individual, and it was hard to remember a time when she disapproved of our behaviour. The closest she came to swearing was calling us a little article. Or if we were really bad, she would declare, "You're a dirty article." The only time any of us remember Mum demonstrating any form of discipline was when she was chasing me with a wooden spoon after I'd lied about taking cookies. And she ended up snapping the spoon in half by hitting the wall. The same spoon I used to love licking icing off. It was devastating. Causing all of us to crack up laughing, including her. She never did it again. Mary had a strong work ethic, and together with Jim, they owned and built 3 houses. She worked hard, painting walls by day, and then squeezing in all the mundane aspects of running a busy household with 4 children. She never complained, because the joy was in providing for her family and ensuring our needs were met before her own. Mary did carve out some time for herself and enjoyed various hobbies, including sewing, knitting, that's homemade jumpers, aqua aerobics, drawing and floristry. Work days were typically spent with Mary rising early to drive Jim to work, retreating home to rally the 4 of us to school. By mid-morning she would be volunteering. In summer, we loved it when Mum and Dad would pick us up from school and tell us we're off to the beach. We'd all pile into the old EJ station wagon and head off to Coogee Beach, spending the evening together doing our homework. What? Fishing, eating fish and chips and swimming. Ironically, it wasn't until Mary was in her 60s that she learned how to swim. And she did that for Dad, so she could swim with Dad. Birthdays and Christmas were always memorable. Mum would always over-cater to make them special. She would flop about and ensure everything was perfect. Gandhi said, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny." These words ring true for Mum. She lived and instilled her firm Christian values every day. She had a strong belief and drew strength from her loving relationship with the Blessed Virgin Mary, often taking walks up the back paddock asking her guidance. Mum was an extraordinary minister and administered Holy Communion for 20 years. She facilitated the transition of many souls, encouraging families to make the most of their time with their loved one before passing. She lived to love, and everyone in her life felt that. She had a gift in nurturing relationships with others. She listened and made you feel welcomed, important and valued. She brought laughter, tenderness and light into all the lives she touched. Mum was a woman filled with compassion, wisdom, generosity and a deep love. It encapsulated who she was. As a grandmother, fondly known as G-Ma, the grandies or grandma, Mary sparkled. She had her own special connection with her grandchildren. She was very involved and lavishly loved them with every fibre of her being. She would kick the football, run through sprinklers and enjoy their energy, always with copious amounts of love. Mary was the kind of person that they may not have fully grasped how much of an impact she had on people, how her kindness changed their day, how the time she spent with them made them feel afterwards, how listening to them and conversations said so much, how a simple message made them smile, how she believed in them. All these little things said so loudly, I see you, I appreciate you, I care for you, I value you, I love you. Mary, Mum, changed the lives of everyone she crossed paths with. She made the world a better place by simply being Mary.
Thank you so much, Mark, for beautiful words. Okay, we're now going to piano.
Mum attended many funerals in her life, and I think she would have really loved seeing you all here. And on behalf of my family, we are very grateful to have you all here today to celebrate my mum here. I know Mum would want to thank each one of you individually, and I'm sure she will find a way to let you know that you played a significant part in her life. But for now, I'd like to pay my respects to some people that I knew played an important part in her life. To her mum and dad, grandma and granddad, although I never met you, Mum kept your spirit alive for us kids. Mum shared with us how difficult it was for her to leave home at such a young age, but she was grateful for the lessons it taught her. Mum knew herself to be resilient, courageous, and that her faith would give her the strength. I personally think the greatest gift that you taught Mum was letting go. Mum, you gave all of us kids the freedom to do what we felt was right for us, and I'll be forever grateful for your faith and trust. To my mum's youngest brother, Owen, and his family, thank you for encouraging Mum to make Perth a home. She loved living here, and having you up the road was such a blessing, given that family meant so much to her. Mary, Johnny, Margaret Downs, and all the other relatives overseas, Mum will chat to, we thank you very much. To all Mum's friends at Gosnells Parish, thank you all for your love and support in nurturing her faith and providing a safe place for her to share. Mum would talk non-stop about your coffee catch-ups, and you will all dearly miss when she moved to Spearwood. To her neighbours in Leslie Street, Anne, thank you for your friendship, and although you hadn't caught up with each other in a while, you were always in her thoughts. To her new neighbours in Spearwood, thank you for helping Mum fit into her new surrounds. She loved having a chat whenever she saw you. To her 8 grandchildren, each one of you, in your own unique way, were a source of inspiration and pure joy. There is so much I could say about each one of you, but for now know that you will love beyond words can ever express. I can't speak on behalf of my dad or my brothers. I'll leave that between you and Mum. But I want to thank you, Dad, Ma, Jerry and Sean, for being pillars of strength in the lead up to today. And I also want to thank Jill. She was a great help for the past week and a half in getting this day organised. A bit of a fun fact that I realised this morning, Mum came into this world on Saturday the 4th, and she left us on Saturday the 4th. And when I looked them up, Saturday's child works hard for a living, and number 4 is a no-nonsense number with a heads-down approach to life and work. Someone who is loyal, practical, and service-orientated. And I think that sums up Mum perfectly. I wrote Mum a poem, but I'll share that. So Mum, there is a massive hole where you used to be. How I move forward, I cannot see. My heart is heavy without you here. The future seems bleak, and it is this I fear. Dark shadows of light flicker around in my mind. Memories of you, a reminder of time. Of days spent with you and your sweet lavender scent. Will stay with me forever, and from the moment you went. Mother Mary, watch down on us all. Please be available when you hear our call. Dance among us and bring us a smile. We won't be seeing you for a while. In the meantime, can you save us a seat? I pray that one day we will again meet. Please light up our path as we continue this life. You will always be our Mum and Jim's loving wife.
Thank you, Fiona. What a beautiful poem. Gorgeous. When we lose important people in our lives, our photos and videos can bring back tangible memories and help us remember everything that made them special and unique. They help us keep that person alive in our minds through stories and memories, reconnecting us with meaningful moments and capturing the humanity of the moment. We will now pause and take this opportunity to spend a few moments looking through the lens, remembering Mary's extraordinary life revealed through photos.